Now we are coming into the most important person in this college, especially when it comes to student. Every student know who is Dr. Gina Garlington. She's a faculty administrator, financial aid person, a manager of all these things. She comes to the office. I think she comes here about 5. Sometimes I get texts and emails from her so early in the morning, and you can see again all the things on her desk. Try, this is a very very interesting job because she has to fulfill the obligation of the president, of the staff, of the student, of the federal government, of the state government. How do you joke about all these things?
You know what, Dr. Karanja, I am really good at time management. And
That is
so
true.
I God has gifted me as being an administrator. So fortunately, our peak times in the financial aid office are not always our peak times in the academic
Ah,
office. So the peak times are different. So I am able to align my schedule where I can, when there are peak times, one office is not suffering over another office.
and I know how do you serve the student, because I know financial aid. I've been there, and I know sometimes they can be tough, and they can come prepared to go off. I know that. As a student, I remember the student telling me we were in my school. They're saying, if I don't get my check today, I'm going to go off. But but I know things are changing now. They get their check through the bank, but sometimes they miss them. So how do you handle them when they come very hot and high?
In this office, you have to develop a level of empathy and not to take it personally. So in this office, when they are in that state, or they are in urgent need of their refund, we no longer take it personally. We are empathetic. We just provide them with the guidelines of how disbursements are made, that we don't necessarily have any control over when they will receive their disbursement. Our job in this office is to make sure that the students that do qualify for financial aid receive financial aid, and that their disbursements are coming out. We do communicate. We don't know when they're going to receive them. So we do provide a response with a level of empathy,
Yeah.
but also we have to stand firm on how disbursements are made. There's no rush disbursements, because we do have to follow processes and guidelines in getting those.
I know this year they have a lot. We had a lot of challenge. We were in DC. I was in DC, and there's a lot of challenge going on with the FISAP. I don't know whether they changed that name again, whatever they're calling it. But there are so many students who are not sure whether they're going to receive their financial aid or whether their application was approved. Where in a short, how can you assure the student that all is well? I mean, because you better informed than I am. But what can you say about?
What I can say is the Department of Education is doing an extraordinarily excellent job in providing those universities that do provide financial aid with constant updates. We are telling students, once they have submitted their 2024-2025 FAFSA, which we believe is the best FAFSA they've had. It is much more streamlined and less work on the student. If they come to us and say, I've submitted the FAFSA, we do have multiple ways of checking to see if their FAFSA was submitted correctly or successfully. If we do not see that information, we take them back to the Federal Student Aid Office. So far we have now began to start getting batches of 2024-2025 FAFSA. So they're now on the upswing. Those FAFSAs that we were not able to locate that students had inquired about, we are now able to see them. So I am very proud of the efforts that the Department of Education has made in getting any kinks or glitches resolved very quickly so students can and the universities can receive these FAFSAs and begin to package students. And we have a great financial aid servicer, FA Solutions, as well.
I know this is the last question because the thing, but it's very important. I'm asking you because I know it's very important. One of the things that was hindering some of the students, there was an issue of the student who wanted to go to school, but they couldn't prove their financial aid because their parents did not have Social Security card. And I know you know all those. Can you say anything about it? I think the last email I got from the Senate, I think the DOE changed that, and so if you want to talk to a student who was thinking and they were afraid they can't come, they're not going to receive financial aid, what can you tell them?
I would tell them that as you are going through the new 2024-2025 FAFSA, be sure that you read all of what they are asking, because one of the questions is, does your parent have a Social Security number or not? If they do not, you check that box, and then it will lead you to the next steps in helping you to secure or what will be needed as far as additional documentation to help to solidify financial aid. Again, this new FAFSA is very streamlined. I actually went through the FAFSA process myself just so I could see what the students would see. And if you follow those prompts, it will tell you in real time, okay, mother doesn't have Social Security number. Here's the next step. Here's the additional documentation. So don't be discouraged about that, because the Department of Education, to what you just said, Dr. Karanja, understands that there are a group of students that will now be able to service and capture without that being a hindrance. So just be sure as you are going through the FAFSA, when you check that box that a parent may not have a Social Security number, it will give you the next prompt, and be sure you provide whatever additional documentation is being asked for in a very prompt manner.
And I think that is so, and especially at this time and this season when the issue of immigrant have become the number one thing of people talking. So there's so many kids out there that will say, I don't want to apply because I don't want to expose my parents. They don't have a Social Security. But I think you answered a very crucial question, how we can continue serving our community with excellence. And again, you use the word empathy. And I appreciate you so much. So I know I had said the last question, but if you want to say to send a message to the students who are interested in coming to Beulah Heights, I always tell them we do have financial aid. What is the message? You are the money lady.
I would say to you, do not be afraid to reach out to our office. Don't assume that you know the answer before you really know the answer. So myself and Miss Priscilla Tennant are here to service you. Whether you're a domestic student, whether you are an international student, just reach out to our office. We are here to help you. If we don't know the answer, we will find the answer for you. But don't be afraid. Fear is the enemy of progression, and we want you to progress.
So thank you so much, Dr. Garlington. We appreciate your time. I know it is a lot of time. You do a lot of things and phone calls. So thank you. Thank you.
Sir.
And I forgot to ask you this. Do you normally watch the episodes of Breakfast with the President?
Of course I do.
Okay, this is the 100th one.
Yes,
so
I'm
for 100
excited
weeks
about
we've been doing this. So thank you so much again
Of course,
for your
sir.
time. All right.
Yes.